I'm assuming you're asking what would happen in this scenario from a doylist perspective. Well, if two characters have the narrative function that they could beat anyone that they fight, then the answer is simple. They beat each other. They clash, they do an epic double punch, and both of them get knocked out. But most characters don't only have one narrative function. For example, I can beat anyone and I'll never lose are two very different things. There's also things such as character morals, reasons for fighting. There's the way that characters interact with their opponents. There's the way that characters think. There's the overall effect on the story, both morally and in terms of how they move forward plot. So from a doylist perspective, you'd have to take all of these roles into account. So you're very rarely dealing with a character whose only shtick is I can beat anyone, or whose only shtick is I can't die. My friend Domo Dude actually did a good job outlining this in one of his videos. He talked about a theoretical fight between Kid Goku from Dragon Ball and Saitama. Saitama can beat anyone and won't be defeated, but can lose. When he missed a sale at the grocery store, that's a loss. When he couldn't swat a mosquito, that was a loss. Kid Goku can be defeated, and often is defeated, but usually figures out a way to win. So in a Kid Goku versus Saitama battle, Saitama does defeat Kid Goku, and somehow he still loses. Domo Dude outlined a scenario where they're fighting in the World's Martial Arts Tournament, and Saitama punches so hard that it destroys the ring, and so he's standing on nothing and loses. Doylist perspective versus battles take just as much analysis as Watsonian versus battles do. It's just instead of analyzing feats of strength or feats of speed, you're analyzing all of their roles and all the narratives they've ever been in. And you're also analyzing how these roles traditionally interact. You need to really analyze the many narrative purposes that these characters have. And then when all is said and done, you craft a scenario in which all those narrative purposes are fulfilled. And I think the best part about the doylist perspective is you don't have to make any special rules. Like, you don't have to say neutral battleground or bloodlust it. Because from the perspective of narrative, everything is inherently neutral. When all you have to do is fulfill a narrative function, you could use any location, any scenario, any power, anything like that. And you could also have characters lose in any possible way. But at the end of the battle, the characters will be more true to themselves from their narrative works. They will be acting and responding like they do in their parent narrative. And that's why I find the doylist perspective so compelling.